Welcome back, everybody, to what is going to be round 2 of the Sunny Special Championships here in the city of Caen.
Yeah, we will have another representative from France, a very well-known player, Fabien Pujol. He did well in Oceania. He did well at many other tournaments. He's a force to be reckoned with. And yeah, I saw him tweet that he's playing a very interesting deck today.
Yeah.
Saying that he's either genius or stupid.
We want to get him on before too late so we can see what this is.
I don't feel empowered to judge whether he's a genius or stupid. But I'm certainly curious to watch him in action, to see what he brought here. And yeah, he's certainly someone who often brings interesting decks. For example, that super aggressive Rayquaza deck that Pedro Eugenio Torres played to top 4 worlds. Fabien also played it, and he got top 16 with it. He started 0-1 and then managed to go 5-1, showing how strong his deck was. And for those who don't know it, it was a crazy deck. It was like Rayquaza GX, and it was so aggressive that they didn't even bother to play Latia's Prism Star, which usually is like its best energy acceleration. They just played Puzzle of Time and all the aggressive stuff.
They just basically went, look, we want to have this game over with by turn 3. I don't care what you're doing.
They were like, turn 1, Marshadow, play 20 cards, turn 2, don't have any cards left in your deck, have like, maybe 5 cards, enough to not go deck out and then just stomp your opponent.
No, but this is the thing, is that Fabien is a well-known player, but he's also a really well-known deck builder. Like, he's someone who's willing to take a risk on some interesting deck lists.
Certainly, taking a risk is like one of the first characteristics that come to mind when thinking of Fabien.
Yeah,
he likes to make big choices, likes to make last-minute plays. Picks his deck the night before from someone who just told him, oh, I have this cool deck, and Fabien's like, okay, I'm going in with it. It's the World Championships, I prepared for 2 weeks, whatever, I go in with this new deck, I can do this.
Well, it's something that kind of shows that some players will test a deck and go, right, this seems like a good idea, but they're not too willing to then pull the trigger on going, right, let's play this now. Fabien's like, look, if I've tested this, and he knows that the testing group he works with, they're all good players. It means that you're not testing going, right, I'm getting good results, but maybe it's just because I'm playing on TCG on the ladder and getting some good results. He knows that if he's doing well against the players he tests with, he can probably trust it.
Yeah, and he's certainly good at like picking up quickly on what he needs to do, seeing the line in the game, what's going to bring him the win, what's going to make him lose. So he doesn't need like excessive matchup plans because he's just good at figuring it out. Like of course he prepares, he knows what to do, like he's a very good player, he knows in advance what he has to do. But he doesn't need an excessive preparation, he only needs to believe in his deck, and then he will be, I know I can do this, my deck is good enough, I will find a way to win this.
So, and then his opponent is Cian. Cian's coming over from Ireland, so he's had a little bit further to travel than Fabien has, though apparently Fabien did say he drove here last night, so he's quite tired. But Cian has taken the time to come over. It's always interesting to see the players kind of travel to tournaments from elsewhere.
Especially for a special event like this, but yeah, coming from Ireland, I would certainly be happy to come over to France.
I'm going to imagine the weather's probably a little bit better here than it traditionally has been in Ireland. And at the very least, it's a holiday.
I came from foggy Germany, and it was great as well. So let's head over to the game and see our players.
So we're looking at both players basically ready to set up. Cian, I believe he was also at Offenbach. I remember having a chat with him at Offenbach actually. He's friends with Joe Yates, who commentated with us last time. Yeah,
I've seen him at multiple tournaments around. So he's certainly a relatively experienced player. Maybe not as experienced, at least not on the big stage as Fabien.
Sure, but
on the other side, our stage is maybe medium-sized, so I'm sure he will do fine.
So let me just quickly get the game cam ready, just in case we want to transition to it.
Yeah, and I'm certainly interested in what both these players are bringing.
It will be a really interesting thing because I see a couple of DCEs.
I see something fire.
I think that's a Slugma.
Okay, might be. He's certainly opening Giraffe.
And I'm seeing
on the other side Metal, Rare Candy. Not sure which one it was, but it will probably be Metagross or Solgaleo deck.
So
those are just the scans from last round, guys. Don't
yeah, it's not that
get
weird.
Confused by it.
Now, is that a Passimian I see on the far right?
Oh, it might well be, but actually, I think he would usually put it down if he had it.
It was in his prize cards.
Oh,
so I think he might be playing Tapu Koko.
It's really hard to figure out.
He might well be playing Tapu Koko.
Yeah, it might be
Passimian.
a Tapu Koko Passimian deck.
which would be really interesting if it is, because actually I spoke to a few players over the last week where actually, if you look at its matchup spread, it's actually really quite good against a lot of decks right now.
The thing is that Zapdos doesn't have a fighting weakness, but it has a lightning weakness. So Tapu Koko with electro powers can pick up easy knockouts on Zapdos while damaging the entire board. And of course, against those Pika Trizecrom variants, Passimian is an amazing attacker against Zorak as well, of course. And it's a non-GX deck, so it can trade with basically anything.
And we're underway. So it is a metal deck of some description from Cian, with the Solgaleo Prism Star already on the bench.
Yeah, we see a Solgaleo in his prizes. So Cian will be bringing a Solgaleo deck. It looks like a relatively straight deck. I wouldn't expect Gardevoir or something. We've seen Solgaleo mainly played with Gardevoir.
Yeah.
But yeah, in this case I think we will see a straight metal deck, especially because he has the Solgaleo Prism on his bench, which is amazing, but only in metal deck.
So straight away, it's another Stellar Wish. It's one of those days where that's just the main play.
And we see Passimian from Fabien. He also has a Tapu Koko, attaches a DC to it. He has a Shrine of Punishment already, so yeah, as you expected.
This looks like a spread list.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Actually going to be quite difficult here to take the knockouts because all of the metal Pokemon have such high HP.
Yeah, and I would expect Cian to play the promo Solgaleo, which is amazing in this matchup. It hits for 120. So it takes knockouts on Passimian.
But its GX attack heals all the damage off the board, which means
the most important.
He can wait for as long as he wants. Just play down a few of the Cosmogs so we can evolve them when he needs them, and just go, right, cool, I'm going to GX attack now.
Yeah. And we see Fabien just passing after using his Cynthia, so no turn 1 attack from him. He doesn't seem to have drawn a switching option.
He does have the Guzma, and he had another Jirachi in hand, which means that he can get a couple of searches going next turn.
He can certainly get an attack going next, and then maybe pull up something heavy to have it in the active, to get maybe some free spreads without any retaliation from Cian.
So... that was an immediate Ultra Ball, I think, from Cian.
Also, an important thing to note is that Tapu Koko has metal resistance. So the promo Solgaleo I was talking about isn't able to pick up a knockout on the Tapu Koko if he does not play the Delmice. So this is an important factor because the other Solgaleo needs to discard all its energies. So if he does not play a Delmice, he doesn't really have great attacking options against Tapu Koko. So Fabien might be able to just get through the game with a spread strategy and then soften up all of Cian's Pokemon and then pick up the knockouts with Passimian.
So here we see the Delmice that might be included.
Exactly.
We're actually currently waiting on the deck list.
It just increases the attack of your metal Pokemon by 10 damage, so you deal 10 more damage to the defending Pokemon, which is exactly enough to knock out a Tapu Koko.
So Cian took a long time. Always a good habit to get into actually on your first search, is to go through your deck, not just for the Pokemon you want from your Ultra Ball, but just to get an idea of what's prized. Like you can see that there's one of his Prism Stars in there. He has an idea of what's going on.
Yeah, his the Prism Star Boost Energy is certainly the most important card. And because it provides 4 energy at once, which is just ridiculously strong.
Yeah, and just the Lily 4/8, drawing him up to 8.
Yeah, interesting is that he plays both Lily and Elm. We see multiple Elms in his prizes. So he had an Ultra Ball, and he did not go for Tapu Lele and an Elm, which is quite a smart decision here, honestly, because he would have 5 Pokemon on his bench already, and against a spread deck you don't really want to have that many Pokemon. Also, Tapu Lele is a GX, so it gets damaged by Shrine of Punishment. You don't want that either.
So this is actually a really good spot immediately. You have to actually kind of limit how you play. You have to slow down a little bit when you're up against spread to go, right, I don't want to commit too much.
Yeah.
The more I commit, the worse this can be for me, because the flying flips, the attacks that Fabien wants to use early, are just more effective right now.
Exactly. And yeah, he has one Cosmog, he has the Vulpix in his active position, which he can use to set up quite nicely. On the other hand, Fabien might be able to take a knockout on this one Cosmog. And even if he can't, I think taking a knockout on the Vulpix instead of spreading seems like a reasonable thing in this position. Just to be a bit more aggressive, to take a few early knockouts, because Cian, of course, is playing a Stage 2 decks, and these Stage 2 decks, as everyone knows, are struggling to set up. It's not as easy as with the basics that Fabien plays, that you can just put down. No, you need the pre-evolution, it has to be in play for a turn. Then you need a rare candy to skip the Stage 1 and go to the Stage 2. so it requires quite a lot of setup. Vulpix, of course, knocking it out also means that Cian doesn't get access to Alolan Ninetales GX, which is an amazing card, especially for stage 2 decks.
Well, this is the thing, is that where Fabien can rely now on just using the Jirachi for a few turns to kind of use that as his engine.
Yeah.
For the stage 2 decks, being able to just basically go, okay, rare candy and the card that I need to get the
because
Pokemon.
once you evolve Alolan Vulpix into Alolan Ninetales, you can search your deck for 2 item cards. So this is of course amazing because, yeah, as you said, you can search out these rare candies and get your stage 2 Pokemon going. So this is basically his engine. And yeah, Fabien can just use his Jirachi, his engine, to get the cards he needs, to take an early knockout with Passimian on this Vulpix, and to deny Cian from his setup.
Yeah, it's actually interesting to see that Fabien is actually choosing to play the line of the Zapdos. So he's got Zapdos in this list, but he also has the Zebstrika line. So this is a card that lets you discard your hand and draw up to 5, I believe. I can't remember the exact wording of the ability, but it's very useful because it just means that these spread decks, especially Passimian, has historically been the deck that kind of struggles to keep its hand flowing. They used to play artillery and the like when it was in the format.
Energies used to be a big issue for this deck because, not a big issue, but like your biggest problem, because you're an aggressive deck, you go up in prices and you typically use double colors energy and the counter energy, which only works when you're behind, which was like a substitute double colors energy. But Fabien opted to use lightning energies instead and his Zapdos, so he has an additional attacker that is quite low maintenance, and now even if he goes ahead, he can afford it. He doesn't need to be behind to use his energies, and he has lots of lightnings at his disposal to use Zapdos. So yeah, this seems like an interesting approach, and a very good addition to the Passimian deck.
Well, so he's also got like he's basically playing the core of a Zapdos deck, because he has the 4 Electro Power in here as well. He has the high Jirachi count.
Yeah, the Electro Power of course is great for Tapu Koko as well. And yeah, we see Fabien going for a spread here. He didn't either he didn't draw energy, or he just decided that he wants to go a spread route. I think it's the first of these options, because I believe he would have preferred to go aggressive. And yeah, we see his hand. He has an Ultra Ball and a Lightning Energy, so he could have gone for Zapdos if he wanted to.
Oh, my mistake. It's drawn to 4 on Zebstrika, isn't it? Not 5. Drawing to 5 would be
drawing to
5 would be
insane. Drawn to 4, yeah. Discard your hand, draw to 4. It's
but we see the first flying flip of the game.
Yeah. Cian replacing the Shrine of Punishments for Lysandre Labs.
Well, you got to keep using the counter stadiums. In fact, that's something that happens in this format and has done for the last couple of sets. Now we have access to the Prism Star stadiums. Every deck now has to find space for counter stadiums, because if the Prism Star ones stick, you're really stuck, because they have like really strong effects. Thunder Mountain is a particularly common one. Here, actually, that would if his opponent played a Thunder Mountain, Fabien can use Electro Ball just for 2 lightning, or for lightning colorless. It doesn't affect the flying flip cost, but it does mean that he can have access to like more attacks.
Cian is using a Professor M, certainly not what he wants in this position, but like more Pokemon helps. But he got like a Cosmog and Solgaleo last turn with Beacon already from his Alolan Vulpix.
And this is
Now he got a Solgaleo, the normal ones. He used his ability to get us into the extra position and the GX attack, which is a big thing. Like, this GX attack allows him to get lots of energies into play, so he will probably charge up the Prism Solgaleo because it has a nice attack.
Well, it's actually the best thing about this is it even says energy cards. Yeah. It doesn't just say 5 energy. It's energy cards, which means that in the decks that opt to play DCE, this one isn't. Yeah. You can go grab them if you need to.
Interestingly, he does not charge up his Prism Star Solgaleo. I would have expected this because it is quite a decent attacker. It can one-shot with Tapu Koko without the Delmice, even it doesn't have to discard energies. It has a drawback, it can't use the same attack next turn, but of course he has the Solgaleo, so he can like switch his Pokemon freely. Once per turn at least.
The Ultra Road is basically the old Rush in from Keldeo.
It's a bit better. It's not just Rush, you can just switch it with one of your bench Pokemon.
It's like that, but because it's now on a stage 2, they thought, we had this on a basic, we got to make it a little better to make it worth playing the stage 2.
I mean, it still doesn't cancel out the negatives of Solgaleo Prism entirely, but it certainly helps. And so now the issue for Cian is he has a lot of Pokemon on his board, He used this GX attack, so the GX attack of the other Solgaleo is not available for him anymore. So he can't heal his entire board anymore, so the spread for Fabien suddenly became a lot stronger.
And this is now double Electro Power in play for Fabien. So this next Flying Flip is doing a whole bunch of damage to the active.
Oh yeah, it certainly is.
And with the Shrine of Punishment ticks, if he can find another shrine, he just played it Lily for the whole 6, will let him get to the point where he can start doing some decent damage.
Also, he got his Zip Striker up already, so he will be able to use the sprint ability he has with Shirachi, so he basically has his engine going. He's Ultra Balling here for an Absol. Probably, oh, he decided the Tapu Koko GX, I think, which is an interesting tech card. We've seen it in a lot of Lightning decks. It just has an amazing GX attack, not doing 50 damage to every energy opponent has in play. And you can charge it up quite easily because once you put it into play, you can change it with your active Pokemon and move all lightning energy to it. So it's quite a good surprise factor.
A lot of people forget that it exists, and when end up not playing around it, you feel the need to commit enough energy to board to keep it up. And then suddenly, Tapu Koko comes down, moves into the active, takes a huge knockout, and at which point you're going, oh, okay, we've got a problem. Also, with it, the fact that it hasn't got a weakness means that a lot of the fighting techs that people are including to beat the lightning types just aren't good enough. You know, the Buzzwole's never really taken this KO.
It's just a very versatile card, and free energy certainly aren't a big cost. And yeah, here we see Fabien go for another Flying Flip, putting the Solgaleo already at 100 damage. So it's already in knockout range because Passimian does 10 plus 30 for each Passimian on your bench. So okay, right now that would only be 70, but we have the other Passimian adding another 30 with its ability. It deals 30 more damage to evolved Pokemon.
Yeah, stage 1 and 2s.
Yeah, so it's already at 100, and if he puts down another Passimian, I expect a 2-2 split of Passimian, so it would be 160.
Yeah, it is actually a 2-2.
Yeah,
so
that's what we typically see in those kinds of decks.
It's it's one of these situations of having to get to the point that you can take this knockout and hope that Cian doesn't get to use the other Solgaleo before that. If he gets to the saying that he's already used his GX attack, so it might be a case that maybe Cian is gone, oh, okay, I'm out of my GX. The damage that hits now is sticking. But actually taking the prize cards for Fabien is going to be difficult.
And here we see Cian using 2 Pokemon communication.
So putting in one of the Solgaleos and then
Solgaleo, yeah. He certainly wants to evolve his little Prism Star this turn, because otherwise another spread will pick up a knockout on it. And yeah, we see him going for an Alolan Mug. So this will shut down Fabien's engine partially. But of course he already has Wisdom Strike in play, so the sprint is available to him.
It also denies an extra 30 damage off the Passimian.
Oh yeah, that's certainly true. So this of course gives the Solgaleo now a big boost in bulkiness.
And he's playing the non-GX Solgaleo as well.
Oh, that helps as well.
So I believe that's 160 damage. It's a lot.
I think it's 170 even.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you can't use the attack next turn.
But that's not a problem when you can just switch between the Prism Star and this, and you just basically keep chaining your attacks. And this is Cian going, how much does a Passimian do? Like, no one plays these cards. What are you doing, Fabien? And we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
So
Fabien sends us this Jirachi, but of course it doesn't do much. Right now it's basically a free retreater, but because of the Lysander Labs, which is in play, the skateboard doesn't have an effect right now, so he can't even retreat it. Well, might as well have sent out a Passimian because except if he wants to attack with Tapu Koko again. So if he has a Shrine of Punishments in his hand or expects to draw one, he will be able to replace it and has a free retreater active, so that's of course very good for him. Otherwise, he can just leave the Jirachi there. Getting a knockout on it isn't too big, so it probably won't get punished, and he probably wants to see what he draws this turn and keep his options alive. And
so I think that's a Zapdos he's considering.
Yeah, I think Zapdos is a decent choice here. He hasn't used the support
yet. No, he goes for the Koko instead.
Now the thing is, with the Zapdos he could have drawn either Lightning or Double Colors Energy. Now he's forcing himself to draw into a Double Colors Energy when he already used one. So he only has 3 left. Also we see 1 is in his prize, so he only has 2 outs to attack this turn.
So
and he of course needs the stadium as well to retreat Jirachi.
So Electro Power,
and he plays Cynthia, and yeah, there he is.
The Shrine and the DCE.
Yeah, perfect. So he has the Shrine of Punishment, so he will be able to retreat. He played an Electro Power.
So that's another 40, which means that this Solgaleo is really within range. And
yeah, it will go to 160 after this attack.
But the big problem is where do the next few knockouts come from? Because once he's taken this KO, assuming he can get to the KO on the active Solgaleo next turn.
Yeah, we also have the Ninetales on the bench, which is slowly going up in damage, so it will be an easy pickup later on. And like the thing that I think will be most problematic in this matchup is on Cian's side to just consistently stream those attacks, because all his attackers have quite a big drawbacks, and he needs a lot of energies for them, so he can of course use the attack of the Solgaleo Prism, but it can be knocked out when quite easily. It has 60 damage already, so with one more Passimian, Fabien will be able to deal 100 damage and take a knockout on it. And yeah, a big thing right now would be a Max Potion. We typically saw this Solgaleo decks play a couple of them.
And there are 3 in Cian's list, so
because
there it is.
Here it is. Because like this deck are built to like discard energies and re-accelerate them, and so and they have big Pokemon that are hard to set up but have a lot of HP in return.
Well, actually what we see as well with this is Cian's deck has a weirdly high amount of disruption and like kind of getting in the way. With the Lysander's Lab, with the Max Potions, with the Alolan Muck, his deck doesn't care about any of these things because of the abilities on the evolved Pokemon. And he has access to Ultra Road, which now means that he can basically, he knows his deck is going to be fairly slow.
And we see him Guzmaring up top a Passimian to get his Prism Solgaleo active. It's quite an interesting pick. He could have picked the other Passimian that does not have that can't attack. He's basically making it easier for Fabien to have an attack this turn. But
well, realistically, he doesn't want to be hitting the Solgaleo in the active anyway, so he knows that Fabien would probably want to be doing something different.
Yeah, it probably doesn't matter much, but it certainly gives him the option. But he probably wants to go rather for a spread maybe this turn, get some more damage into play, make sure he can pick those knockouts later on. I mean, the Shrine of Punishments is still in play. Max Potion is not a factor next turn, because Cian, he has 3 energies on his Solgaleo GX, so he probably doesn't. He wants to attack, he doesn't want to use
I think at some point Cian put extra damage counters onto his Pokemon. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Electro Power only does extra damage to the active.
Yeah, but he attacked 3 times already with Tapu Koko, so it's...
in that case it should be correct.
Yeah, it's correct, it's correct.
Okay.
It's correct, because he also has Shrine of Punishments.
Well, it's not so much of an issue because he has no access to Magical Swap in this list, so... it's fine, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
So with that, he's not playing the Magical Swap Lele, which you normally see in spreads?
Yeah, Muck.
Muck, I believe these two
Muck
should be on...
Yeah, Muck should have 20 less.
Yeah, and I think the Solgaleo should do too as well, because the damage... At some point, he's put that extra damage counts from the Shrine down and confused himself, I believe. So, just we're waiting for the judge call. Try and work out what the game state should be.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Muck should be at 60 only.
Yeah,
because otherwise, I mean, the Ditto was at 20 when he evolved it. Then I think Fabien only attacked twice afterwards.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not 100% sure though, and honestly, I don't think it. I didn't pay attention because I don't think it matters that much.
No, but it's also we want to ensure that the game state is correct.
Yeah, certainly. I just say I didn't pay particular attention to it because it's more about Cian getting his attackers going. And so the damage on the Solgaleo Prism, the damage on the Solgaleo GX and on the other Solgaleo are what matters. The Ninetales and the Mark are just bench sitters. They will be easy knockouts eventually anyways.
They're just working out how many times they've attacked. And yeah, this is correct. Because the other damage is correct then, because the others have come from the Shrine of Punishment at the end of the turn, placing 10 damage or 1 damage counter on each of the GXs in play. A card that we've seen do an awful lot of work over the full-time period. So, but no, it has to be correct because the Muck only came down the turn before, and it was a Ditto beforehand.
Like the Solgaleo
so the Ditto,
Prism, the Solgaleo Prism certainly should have more damage than the Muck and the other Solgaleo, because it used to be on the bench turn 1 already for the first spread, so it should have 20 more than Muck and Solgaleo. So either it has 20 too little or the others have 20 too much. I think the others have too much damage.
Yeah, I believe that's correct. I think all of his GXs have incorrect damage. Non-GXs have the incorrect damage.
Yeah, non-GX. Yeah, okay, now it should be.
Which is now correct because the Electro Power was active on that hit. There we go. And these are correct. I think as long as the players are both like, okay, this is pretty. We're pretty sure this is the game state.
Yeah, the thing is just the Solgaleo Prism was in play 1 turn earlier, so it got 1 spread more. And afterwards,
it's also had an Electro Power. At one stage, I think he got hit by an Electro Power hit. But either way,
the Electro Powers were on the other Solgaleo.
There was another one that turn as well. He's played 3 of his 4. So he's now at the point where he's running out of ways of doing big damage, and this is actually going to be quite difficult for him to still take these knockouts because all of these metal Pokemon, all the single prize metal Pokemon, are actually quite hard to knock out. They have like 160, 170 HP.
But Fabien still is Passimian. Passimian without anything else is already decent damage output. It can deal, like a lot of Muck is of course reducing his damage output a little bit. But he can get like big hits for like 100, 130 at least, and all of those attackers are softened up. The Shrine of Punishment will like Fabien's already gone through 2 shrines.
Yeah, he's actually running out of. Like, he's put everything within range, but it's still a case of having to find the ways of taking enough prize cards because there's not 6 easy prizes on the board.
At this point, almost any knockout is hurting Cian considerably because he needs like all of his pieces. He certainly needs the Solgaleo GX to keep switching around, he needs the Solgaleo Prism to keep recharging energies, and he needs some attackers as well.
So the non-GX Solgaleo takes the knockout on the Tapu Koko.
Exactly, he's going to the 4 prizes. Fabien hasn't taken any prize yet, by the way.
Which is pretty typical for these Koko decks.
He just spread it, but yeah, being a very aggressive deck against stage 2 deck, I would usually expect him to go for early knockouts with Passimian and Zapdos to just like disrupt your opponent from getting a good board. But instead he went for the spread right away.
And he gets
spreading every turn, and yeah, so all the attackers are softened up, but he didn't take any prizes yet.
Well, he knows that he has to find ways of putting everything, no matter where it is on the board, close enough to be picked off. The stretcher, I think, put the Tapu Koko back in as well.
Yeah, also interestingly, that by going for the Tapu Koko all the time, Fabien is going through a lot of double colorless energies, so he won't be able to attack a lot with his Passimians later on. He has 1 in the prizes, of course, so that reduces damage output considerably. So he can't go for big swings with Passimian anyways. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure he would have liked to attack with Passimian here.
Okay, Escape Rope. Card that normally doesn't see too much play with access to things like Guzma.
Yeah, we've seen it lately become quite more popular because of the Jirachi.
Yeah.
Just lots of switching options where to get this Jirachi active, to get it on the bench again. And yeah, it's gonna bring up the Alolan Ninetales from Cian. And yeah.
So this is a potential for a knockout, I believe. 110 damage on there. And
it's not enough. It's not enough because of the Lysander lab, so the choice band doesn't work.
He needed that choice band to pick it off. What he can do here is just hit.
Yeah, so it would be going to 180 because it's 10 plus 30.
Yeah.
So it survives, and yeah, this Alolan Ninetales is a pretty easy max potion target for Cian. It doesn't have any energy, so no drawback in it, and he can switch it out quite easily as well. And
just denies all the work Fabien's doing. It's incredibly frustrating when you're playing a deck that wants to put things in range because your damage output isn't that high, and your opponent can just go, nope.
Yeah, we see the Lysander Labs hurting Fabien quite a bit, like his escape board not working, his choice band not working. It really hurts the engine of Fabien's deck was damage modifiers. Those cards would make him run smoother.
It's the
Also, thanks to the escape rope, the drawback of Solgaleo's attack got reset. He can just send it up thanks to Ultra Road again easily. So yeah, Fabien is so it's going quite well for Cian. Already 3 prizes ahead. He still has multiple max potions in his deck.
He still also has access to multiple attackers.
We
at
see
this
Fabien,
stage.
he does not have an attack this turn. He just attached an energy to a Tapu Koko. And I think he passed.
I think so.
Looks like it's Cian's turn. So he couldn't do anything really. So Cian is certainly hoping for max potion here. Getting the damage of the Ninetales off, denying so much spread work of Fabien. And the Guzma resetting the attack of the Solgaleo attack again. He will probably just send it up again with Ultra Road, or he can attack. Okay, he
can just take the attack this way here.
Yeah, that's
he
fair.
knows the GX really is not in range.
Yeah,
there are 3 DCE in the discard pile for Fabien already.
So it makes sure that he can attack next turn with the other Solgaleo. And yeah, Fabien just sees the writing on the wall and he concedes. We've seen that this spread really didn't work out well for him.
Well, I think a large part of that is when you come to a tournament and you're planning your deck's choices, you try and predict what you're going to see in the format. And I'm going to guess that Stefan in round 1 wasn't really expecting to see Zoroark Guzzlord. And Fabien here probably wasn't anticipating to see a Solgaleo deck.
We see a lot of European players coming up with quite interesting and unexpected strategies here. Like, I certainly didn't think of Guzzlord going into this tournament.
Well, it was a very weird format because last week in Australia we had what looked like a fairly stable format, even though it was only week 1. 4 decks made top 32, and they all had fairly even splits, which means that the format is not solved, but is very close to, because it means that everyone knows what's good. And normally it won't divert that far in a week. But it looks like a lot of players have gone, well, all of these decks have similar weaknesses, they all have similar strengths, so we can play some different, slightly offbeat decks and still get there.
Also, these more local players, like we've seen Malcolm and round 1, okay, Cian isn't exactly local, but he's like local European, basically. He doesn't go to internationals outside of Europe, I believe, at least. So, maybe he just didn't count Melbourne too much and he had his deck prepared already. But yeah, speaking about this particular match, Fabien will be going first. He has this Jirachi opening, which is great.
Those prize cards for Cian are not great. There's, I believe, double...
Yeah, double Solgaleo and a Ninetales.
He's playing a 2-2 line of the Ninetales, so at least he can get to them, but that is going to be an awful lot of work for him.
Yeah. Also, he's playing 3 of the Solgaleo, so he will be fine. He still has 1 left. And yeah, like, now, the thing I would like to see is Fabien go for a more aggressive strategy, because we've seen about the tweaks he made to his deck, and the difference to a typical spread deck is that he doesn't play the counter energies, but instead the lightning energies. So
he can't play the Tapu Lele, which means that his alternate win condition is gone, right?
Going for the spread strategy is certainly something you would rather see in the counter energy build, because there you have more energies for a Tapu Koko, you are more focused on being behind and then like taking the game from there. You have this Tapu Lele promo which can swap around the damage on your opponent's board. So there you really want to be behind, you want to slowly, methodically do damage, you want to pick up the important stuff. But with this build, I think Fabien just wants to go really aggressive, and he's well better suited to do that. Because in this other game we saw
going second, Cian actually had a very good turn 1 and good board state at the end of turn 1 last time with the Solgaleo Prism and the Vulpix. This time it looks like his start's going to be a little slower.
And yeah, he has 2 Cosmic already, so that's at least nice. He Ultra Balls. Interesting to see what he's going for. Maybe a Tapu Lele for picking up with Lily again. He doesn't really need many Pokemon. Maybe he already has a supporter, so going for Vulpix again, retreating with Cosmog, and then having Vulpix to set up again.
We could also consider going into something along those lines where he can Elm get the Ditto in play because he wants to go into the Alolan Muck nice and early.
But, also like we've seen that the spread way that didn't work out for Fabien too well. I believe it's because of the lack of energy is certainly a big factor in this. Like Fabien has used lots of his electro powers on Tapu Koko to spread. He used most of his DCE, so he was left for the late game with like hardly any energies to attack with Passimian, hardly any electro powers to boost his Zapdos attack, and certainly it was an issue for him that Passimian was priced, so he couldn't get a lot of his Passimians. The Mug shut down the ability of his one Passimian as well, so he was only able to do 70 damage with it.
Well, actually, we see again there is one of the Passimians in the prize cards for Fabien.
Yeah, Cian going for the Oranguru, interestingly. He doesn't seem to have any supporter, but he didn't opt to go for a Tapu Lele. Just going for the Oranguru.
Ditto comes into play.
And yeah, no supporter for turn, so very interesting choices. Also no energy on the active, instead on the bench. Otherwise he could have gone for collect, for Dust Gathering and just draw a card with the Cosmog, which would have been at least something.
Wait, unless I'm crazy, there's a very good reason he didn't go for Tapu Lele.
Oh,
he's not playing any.
He's not playing any Tapu Lele, so this is a very interesting choice. He's certainly wanting to deny prizes to the maximum. He plays a high amount of max pushes, so he doesn't want any frail Pokemon on his board. But
I think he has done that knowing full well that with Pikachu Zekrom Tag Team GX in format, with that GX attack, being able to take KOs.
And also like with decks like Zapdos, being able to like use an Electro Power, Choice Band, and then maybe a few turns of Triumph Punishment, getting easy prizes there.
Yeah,
it's
risky.
He just wants his Pokemon to have as many HP and being as hard to knock out as possible. But of course, here we see the drawback of it. He just couldn't get any supporter on his turn 1, and his Oranguru was the best way to get any cards going.
Actually, the other thing is that he probably can get away with it because he's playing a very high supporter count. Going off of Tord's old saying of you need 15 turn 1s outs to a good supporter, he went near that anyway without the Tapu Lele. So.
On the other hand, it will be interesting to see if Fabien can manage to get enough Passimians into play. Optimally, he would have liked to get a Zapdos going, I guess. But because Zapdos only needs 1 energy and no other conditions. We see him Ultra Ball for 1 and he has a Lightning, so yeah, it seems... Oh yeah, he's retreating his Passimian and going for a Zapdos. Again, this is a great early attacker and it's just easy to get. And he's taking a knockout, so yeah, we're seeing he's playing a way more aggressive game here.
Yeah, this way he can take cheap prizes.
Also, yeah, definitely. Also, this might be due to his experience in the first game. It might also be due to the current board state, because he's seeing that Cian doesn't have a supporter, it's not going great. So if he can knock out this Cosmox early before they evolve, he will get an easy win here.
And what we see is, this is something that a lot of very good players do, is they think on their feet. They see that the opponent misses a single supporter for 1 turn, and that goes, okay, I changed my game plan. This is how we have to go forward.
Here we see Cian having the Lily, and so he was able to find a supporter. He also got another Cosmog down with a Nest Ball, now he got a Vulpix. So even if he doesn't get to, if he wouldn't be able to evolve this turn, he can retreat his Cosmog, get his Vulpix up, get Beacon to search for some important Pokemon, or he can just like maybe use Dust Gathering, wait a turn, or tank with the Oranguru. Yeah, this was another option because he doesn't want this Vulpix to get knocked out. He wants to use it next turn to evolve into Ninetales so he can get his Rare Candy.
Switch straight away. A lot of these kind of cards with switching effects have seen more and more play. Because with both Jirachi and Zapdos requiring switching to be as useful as they can be, everyone's going, right, let's get these escape ropes, these switch counts.
With escape ropes are just great. They allow you to get these Jirachi abilities. If you play multiple Jirachi, you can use multiple Jirachi on the same turn to dig for some important card you need. And you can use it to recharge your Zapdos exactly. It's just a very good utility card and got a lot of value. And he has a Guzma here now. He's probably going for a Ditto Prism Star. Yeah, we see him.
Deny the Muck.
And yeah, the Muck was a very huge factor last game. It shuts down Fabien's engine. It reduces his damage output. it's just a huge factor, and this Ditto Prism Star, which should have gone to the lost zone.
It's an easy mistake
yeah,
to make.
It happens all the time, it doesn't really matter.
Unless he goes for a rescue stretcher.
Yeah, but at least at the latest when we realize. So yeah, he got the knockout on the Ditto Prism Star, so the Mug won't be an issue this game, at least not anytime soon.
And it's going to be a really tricky thing to try and get the board going. He does need to find a way of retreating into something that he can get energies out with. It looks like he hasn't found easy access to his Alolan Ninetales and his strong stage 2s.
He got a rare candy naturally. Interestingly, he opts to evolve the bench. So he could have evolved the active and tank a few hits, but he probably thinks that like if Fabien gets the knockout on the Cosmog, that's fine on him. He doesn't want damage on his Solgaleo. He wants to attack with it later on multiple times. So he just wants to preserve those HP as long as he can. Probably not too concerned about like easy knockouts on Fabien's side.
No, I think he kind of understands that he can kind of escape this because Fabien's board isn't in a situation where he can look like he can take consistent knockouts. Yeah, unless he has a very good hand.
A knockout on a Cosmog could be something to always expect, I think.
Yeah.
And like then, if he gets another cheap knockout here, then he can always take the knockout on the Oranguru and on the Ninetales as soon as it evolves and get some damage from the Shine of Punishment. So
stretches.
So at this point Fabien can have mapped out his game already, knowing which prizes he will take. Okay, he uses a rescue stretcher. He didn't find anything really, just put down another Cosmog. And now Fabien able to recharge a bit, looking for another switching option. Otherwise he won't be able to do much with his Zapdos, just 10 damage.
Can't see a lot right now.
Certainly has a DCE, so if he has an escape board or something, he can retreat and attack with a Passimian. Would really be great for him, taking a knockout this turn. Also this time, he has no Passimians in his prizes, he has all of them on board.
It's actually going to be a really big deal if he can keep taking out the Pokemon that Cian's playing before they evolve. Because going from a basic to a GX now, you get like 150 more HP minimum, and that is a lot when you're trying to do 110 at a time.
Yeah, it's not only HP, it's also prizes that Fabien's go up. It hurts Cian's board so he can't get up multiple Solgaleos, and getting multiple is really key to his deck.
Well, especially because the way his deck we saw work in the first game, he's actually really relying on the Ultra Road ability and the ability to keep maneuvering his board around as he needs to.
Optimally, I think he wants one Ultra Road Solgaleo, one Promo Solgaleo to keep charging energies to his Pokemon, so he can use Ultra Road to switch around, use Max Potions to heal, use the Promo Solgaleo to take knockouts. And
so it's an Elm?
Yeah, he uses Elm, which you usually don't want to use in the mid game, but we've seen in game 1 that he's playing a high amount of Pokemon communications, so this Elm gives you access to those Pokemon communications. It gives you the Pokemon you need. And he has a rare candy here.
Goes active with it.
Yeah, it is Ultra Road, I think.
But I don't think there's many. So where's he going to look to Ultra Road 2?
Actually,
no, nowhere in particular, right? He's
actually,
just pass.
No. This is the promo one.
This is the new promo.
Yeah, this is not the other. Okay, so if he has a DCE here, he can take a knockout.
I think he just passed because there was a tick from the Shrine of Punishment, the extra 10 damage coming into play.
So yeah, that's not a great hand from him. He used this Elm, but he didn't have any communication, so he basically just used it to finish his deck.
Which is not necessarily a bad thing, because he knows he's kind of drawing dead. He needs to kind of get to these resources.
Yeah, but also, if going to a low amount of hand size, he could have used the Oranguru, but getting this useless Pokemon into his hand, he won't be able to use Oranguru. So yeah, he's basically just sitting here and hoping to top deck something that he can work with.
Yeah. I think this is
on the other side, Fabien gets to refresh his hand with a Cynthia, hoping to this time draw some switching options, because he really doesn't want his Zapdos being there, sitting in the active, doing basically nothing.
So, sorry about the delay on the scan there. It turns out there's just a lot of copies of the Ultra Road Solgaleo, so it's really hard to find the right one. And if I'm correct...
No, actually, this is still not the one.
Nope, there really are an awful lot of copies of this
they all look so similar, so when I used to test this deck, I used full arts and normal ones to just, and like, oh, there's a golden version of the Ultra Road, so I used the golden version of the Ultra Road just to make sure to see the difference, because they honestly look so similar.
Well, they also have, so I believe there's actually 2 of the Ultra Roads in the discard pile. It's very hard to tell
and
because they all look the same.
Again, Fabien not finding a switching option, just using Electro Power here to boost his attack a bit. Just 40 damage, but yeah, with Shrine of Punishments, it starts adding up. With Choice Band.
Now we have a Pokemon communication coming
into
Cian.
So now this is an Ultra Road, Solgaleo for sure.
Alright, it's a Ninetales first.
Yeah, Ninetales, so he will be able to get maybe a Max Potion, most likely, certainly a Rare Candy I think, maybe a Max Potion or something else.
So actually what we could see here is, if he can... Well, I don't think he hasn't got any energy in the discard pile.
Okay, yeah, Max Potion and Rare Candy as expected. Healing his one Solgaleo, getting out another one. He doesn't have any energy in discard pile, so...
He wants to go for the GX attack.
Yeah, exactly. The Soul Burst GX, charging up his Pokemon. And yeah, that's what he's doing. Ultra Road sends up the Solgaleo. And he's using the GX attack. Charging up 5 energy to his Pokemon in any way he likes, also any energy. So he's probably charging up this non-GX Solgaleo again and the promo Solgaleo. Those are basically his best attackers here.
Well, other than the fact that with the resistance, he may not be able to take KOs.
The Zapdos doesn't have has fighting resistance. The Tapu Koko has the resistance, but
you can set up all of them.
And here we see him go for the Prism Star energy. He already has 3 stage 2s on board, so that's basically 4 energy.
Yeah,
a very strong energy.
It shows the strength of GX attack, being able to grab the special energies out. So, having only 1 copy of the Prism Star is not an issue when you can just go pick it out of your deck with a GX attack.
However, no supporter for Cian, also no kick gym, so the Shrine of Punishment keeps being in play. And for Fabien again, no switching option. Again,
Electro Power.
Yeah, just attacking for 40. This is certainly not the best Zapdos can do, but at least it's something. And the Shrine of Punishment,
there it is.
Putting in a lot of work, but yeah, there's a kick gym.
So now it's going to be a case of.
But yeah, Fabien already.
Roading.
Yeah, Fabien already has another shrine in his hand, so he will be able to use this next turn.
I think he's just trying to work out exactly if he wants to Guzma. I don't know. I didn't see if Cian has one in hand.
Guzma would be a good option here, taking out the Passimian, because Fabien has shown that he doesn't have much to work with. So, and like the Zapdos doesn't really do much, so he could just ignore, take out the knockout on the Passimian, but yeah, he doesn't have a Guzma, so he just takes the knockout here on the Zapdos.
I think he was also just doing all the maths to go, right, hang on, how many are we doing here?
Yeah, also attacking with the promo, he allows him to charge an energy on his other Solgaleo, so that one is basically ready to attack.
He has a whole load of attackers basically at his disposal. He can just more or less choose which one he wants to use which turn and just keep taking efficient without going overkill on too many things. He doesn't want to knock him out by an excess amount.
Interestingly, if Fabien has a choice band and a Guzma here, he can take a knockout on the Ultra Road Solgaleo, which would be a huge thing because it would knock out the Ultra Road, which is key to the mobility of Cian's deck.
And
it is also, it's exactly. It also puts Cian at only 2 stage 2, so the boost energy doesn't work anymore. And yeah, so it would be great for him, but he hasn't used much. Did
he take a prize card?
Yeah.
When he took that knockout just then?
Yeah. He knocked out the Zapdos, he didn't do anything earlier.
Okay.
He was just sitting around with Cosmox and not having much. And okay, we see the Tapu Koko GX. Fabien also plays the Tapu Koko Prism Star, so if he has this turn, he can use it to charge 2 lightning energy to 2 of his Pokemon, and then he can use the ability of the Tapu Koko GX to switch into the active position. But first he's gonna use the Jirachi, see what he can get.
This game has gone a long time.
And he can get a Lily, so yeah,
this game is going to go a long time as well. We only have 10 minutes left in the round, which means that for both of these players, it starts becoming very tricky. Especially for Fabien, he knows he has to take the one-hit knockouts. He's seen these max potions cause problems. He doesn't really want to have to spend the time.
And having this, oh, and he has the Tapu Koko Prism, so yeah, if he draws into one more energy, he will be able to take a knockout with Tapu Koko GX, because the boost energy, of course, counts as 4 energy. He also sends it into the active position already, so he has an energy. He has a choice when he has the Lily, so this is a crazy good turn for him. He takes out one of Cian's attackers. Next turn, if he has a Guzma, he will be able to knock out the other Solgaleo to end the game already. This knockout with the GX attack is huge for Fabien, and we see the strength of these new tags that he has added to the Passimian deck. He was able to go
straight down to 2 prizes, and he basically says, look, can you take a KO? No?
He was able to go aggressive with his Zapdos, go very early. Unfortunately, he stumbled a bit there, which was not the best the Zapdos can do.
Did they miss a shrine of punishment?
Yeah.
Because it might come relevant. Well, they put it on the... It's fine, because they put it on the...
It was at 60 and...
Yeah.
Okay, he took a knockout with...
Okay.
Solgaleo here, going down to 3 prizes himself.
But does he have Guzma? If
Fabien
finds the Guzma, he can take the knockout.
He also has the Jirachi, yeah, he can take the knockout. So I think, yeah, he has it.
He has it.
He has the Guzma, so he will... Oh, he didn't use Jirachi first, that's interesting.
I
would usually expect him. I mean, that doesn't hurt. I would usually expect him to. Maybe I've missed it as well, but yeah. So now, oh yeah, never mind.
He already had the knockout.
Yeah,
and he knows that he doesn't have long left. So normally you still want to make sure and be consistent.
Yeah. I was just confused by the speed of Fabien's deck, being able to take the game in this few turns.
Well, what was really interesting there is it was a very different game to Game 1 because we saw that the Stage 2 deck did what Stage 2 decks tend to do, which is a little slow.
It was like he was able to set up, but he didn't draw any supporters, so he even, well, he had Ninetales, he had the setup, he had a Max Potion, but like Fabien being able to take early prizes when he got this big knockout with Tapu Koko GX, and truly what was the key in this game was that Cian didn't get out this Alolan Mug, because with Alolan Mug it would have shut off the ability of the Passimian, so Fabien wouldn't be able to do that much damage with his Passimian. It would have shut off the Tapu Koko Prism Star, so he wouldn't be able to accelerate those energies. It would have shut off Tapu Koko GX, so he wouldn't be able to use the ability again.
It turns off everything, right?
Yeah, exactly. So basically, Fabien's entire deck is dependent on these abilities, and him getting the knockout on the Ditto Prism Star, denying Cian the Mug that destroyed him, that was so troublesome in the first game, really gave Fabien an opportunity to use all the tools his deck has,
and that was
to
without
go aggressive and take
a particularly strong start of his own. He kind of had a slightly slow start himself, but he made the most of it. He was always like, right, I just have to kind of disrupt Cian, because if he can't get things online, it's gone, and we can win.
Yeah, it was 10 damage from Zapdos was already enough to apply some pressure to soften up the Solgaleo for a big knockout with a Passimian.
So, prize cards here look a little awkward again for Cian. There's a lot of draw supporters.
Yeah, but
otherwise it's fine.
It's nothing too dramatic, and he has a Vulpix opening, which is very nice for him. He has a Pokemon communication.
And this is where I think we're going to have to see Turbo Fabien. We had Turbo Toad at last year's Oceania.
He will have to go very fast here to finish this, and he will probably have to hope for some unfortunate draws from Cian, because if Cian evolves his Pokemon, they are so tanky, and he has the GX attack to heal. So it would be really hard.
Gets to use his communication straight away.
Cian realizing how important the Mug was in Game 1, so he gets communication for the Ditto Prism Star, being ready to get out the Mug as soon as possible. A thing we've seen a lot of these Zapdos deck do in the past and at the Melbourne IC was like turn 1, just put down Zapdos, 1 energy, Guzma, Ditto Prism Star, knockout.
Yep. You just kind of go, right, that Ditto Prism Star is going to be a muck in a minute, and I don't want it to be a muck, because that's going to cause my life to be a lot more difficult. Let's just get rid of this thing.
Exactly, and getting the Zapdos online is so easy that... But yeah, of course, the difference from Fabien to these dedicated Zapdos decks is that he only plays 4 lightning energies, so it's not as easy as with his 10 energy Zapdos decks to get a turn 1 attack going.
It's straight away into an escape rope.
Escape rope, bringing up the Cosmog. And he has a Zapdos with an energy, getting a knockout on the Cosmog.
Bang.
So this definitely hurts Cian.
Thunderous Assault.
But the Ditto Prism Star is safe, so he can get the Mug if he has an option to get an evolved Pokemon, he can get the Muk here, use the Vulpix to get some other stuff. And Elm would be really something that Cian wants to see, and yeah, we see it right away, getting some more basics.
I guess he's going to go for a load of Cosmogs here.
Yeah. Also, Fabien didn't have a Guzma last turn, so he probably won't have it next turn.
Well, he didn't see a supporter at all.
Yeah, he saw an additional card from his prizes. He will see one from the top of the stack, so he might get it, but he doesn't have a Jirachi or anything. So Beavis Ditto isn't really in danger, so Cian doesn't really have to worry too much about it. Just getting a few more basics is really what he wants.
And going for a split.
And 2 Cosmog, that's great for him. And then we will probably see a Beacon.
Well, this way he can guarantee himself getting into the yellow Ninetales and at least one of the GXs.
Yeah.
Because he can rare candy.
Playing in a reasonable pace here, but not really the turbo mode we are used from players like Todd. So, if Fabien has any supporters and more Pokemon, I very much expect this to end in a tie. Cian getting a Ninetales and a Muk, as very much what's expected from him. He will be able to get the Muk online, he will be able to get some Stage 2, he will probably use the Ultra Road to accelerate his Pokemon again, but this is a strategy that requires time, it requires to set up multiple Pokemon, to get lots of energy into play, to switch your Pokemon around, and against a non-GX deck like Fabien's,
well, the two kind of cancel each other out, because what Cian's looking to do is take 2 prize knockouts 2 at a time, because he is required to kind of get them. But when Fabien's not playing any 2 prize Pokemon, so he can't do that. But then Fabien's looking to soften everything up, but Cian's just going, nope, I'm just going to max potion all this off. You might have just heard that time was called on the round, but due to the confusion earlier on, there will be a 3-minute extension for this game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this time? I don't know.
It's correct. The time that is showing on the round is correct.
Okay. So it was paused for the...
it wasn't paused, we had the time back on.
Okay, so it's this time and then... Oh, you ended. Okay.
This is all
so
correct.
Everything's fine. This game has 2 more minutes.
So...
And 2 more minutes, however... And we see this 10 damage from Zapdos again on Fabien's side. He only got this Blitzel going, so maybe he will get a Substriker. But it's not looking like...
Well, Alola Muk's in play.
Yeah.
That's basically that. I think that this has got tie written all over it.
Yeah, certainly. Maybe Cian can get 3 knockouts quickly, but it doesn't look like it.
He has no way of attacking to take a knockout this turn.
Yeah. Also, I'm not sure if he's. Oh, did he play another Professor Elm or no? I think he's just beaconing.
He's just beaconing
again. He's just beaconing again. So no energy from him, I think, because otherwise he could have used Ninetales and Ultra Road and Soul Burst. But yeah, this will most certainly end up in a tie. Cian just doesn't have what it takes. And yeah, we've seen his deck. It's an interesting deck. He tries to lock down his opponent with a Muk and to deny prizes, but on the same time, to have the maximum out of his strategy, he forgo the Tapu Lele in his list, and we've seen it hurting him. He again didn't get any draw supporters, no way to search them out of his deck, other than just drawing them naturally, so he has a slow setup again.
This is always a risk when you take when you're playing a stage 2 deck. If it works, then normally great. Otherwise, it's just a little bit inconvenient having to constantly try and work so hard to get your Pokemon into play. And
Fabien getting a Tapu Koko. He's going for a spread strategy here with 20 seconds left in the round. It is certainly pretty obvious this will not end, and this will be a tie. I mean, there could something crazy happen. Maybe one player gets a Guzzlord going suddenly, and we're
suddenly there's
taking 3 prizes.
There's all these darkness energies we haven't seen yet in both players' lists.
But yeah, the time is up. It's Cian's turn, so he's turn 0. Both players would have 2 more turns, but yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was just a handshake.
They just see that it won't end. They shake hands, and it's a tie.